All right, welcome back to the Brown Balls podcast. We are on our way to the NBA Finals. Kenny, how you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm just looking at the 2026 champion, the Lakers.
Never stop believing. Never stop believing, man. Never stop believing. I know for sure you will have plenty of reason why Lakers win it all, even though we may not be a complete team. But let's get into the Eastern Conference Finals. So I know last week we talked about OKC and they won their Western. So Knicks Pacers, they had a pretty good comeback win for Game 5. And then Game 6 just got absolutely demolished at Indiana. Kind of how we knew it might happen. We were hoping the Knicks would take it to 7, but we both kind of knew that Indiana was going to win that game. What are your thoughts, man?
Dude, honestly, the way the game was going in the first quarter, early part, it was like 9-4 New York. I was like, damn, New York is actually, coming with a fight. I really thought that, New York was just weathering the storm, and they were. In the first quarter, it was like a couple point lead. It wasn't too bad. Because after the first quarter, all the nerves set in and everything, so you weathered the storm, and New York did that. What caught me off guard is what happened coming out of the halftime, because the lead was only, I think, like 8 or 6 at half. And coming out of the half, I was kind of shocked that, Siakam went on fire, man. He just like scored like 5-6 straight points, a 3 or 2 in here. And like the lead ballooned to like 12-13 or something, man. I was like, what the hell? And I don't know what happened at halftime. I don't know what Tibbs said to the team, but they came out flat, like super flat. What I expected was in the first quarter, that happened in the third quarter. I thought in the beginning of the game, they'll come out flat, but that kind of shocked me, to be honest with you, man. Like, I was like, man, what just happened? Like, and so the thing was, the game kind of just went out of their hands because Siakam got a momentum going, and then in the fourth, Tyrese, who's the star of that team, showed up in the fourth, and he had like 7-8 straight points towards that middle of the fourth quarter. But it's just a complete collapse, and it kind of goes back to what they see. They had the same defensive mindset that they played against Boston, right? With Boston, they let them shoot those threes, right? Those were good shots, even though Boston missed those threes. But Boston was still taking them because those were open shots, and they're just not making them, right? Well, Indiana were making it, right? And that's what killed them, right? And honestly, losing that game 1, the collapse that happened, they're up by 14 with 2 minutes to go. They lost that game in game 1. That killed them for it, right? So, on and on, that game 1 was coming back and haunting them down like crazy, man. They couldn't just fully recover. And I'm just shocked that, they didn't force game 7, because the way first quarter went, they didn't get blown out. It was like right there, like, first quarter, they were actually up by 4. It was 23-27 New York going to second quarter, man. But like the halftime, third quarter is the only quarter that was like kind of messed up. They lost that quarter by 6, with 28-34. So I was like, they're there, man. But look, Jalen Brunson and Towns, their shots weren't falling, and you kind of sense that because the game before, which was in New York, they're hitting both of their shots, and they're doing great. But again, we all go back to saying that even if you're a star, you keep on shooting, and that's what Jalen Brunson did. He went 12 for 18, which had 30. He still had 32 points, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong game. But like
19.
Yeah, 19. Yeah. So so that's the thing, man. They still kind of went. They still kind of like played well. They did what they could, but I don't know, man. I'm shocked that's not game 7. I was hoping for a game 7. How about you, man?
Yeah, same. I honestly thought that New York, after what they showed in New York, that it would at least carry over. But it just felt like that after halftime, Pacers just kind of said, you know what, this is over. We're gonna win in our building. We don't want to like linger this on for too long. Let's just put the gas to the metal and just go for it. And they did. I think they went all out for it. So I'm not surprised, honestly. It's really hard for teams to come back from a 3-1 deficit. I think we were hoping it would be, but honestly, Indiana is a really good team in itself, and they surprised everybody. Honestly, I think New York. This was the issue with them was obviously Brunson's gonna do what he does, but Anthony Towns is so up and down that like you can't consistently rely on him to be your guy, and he's also should be a much better defender. Honestly, like Miles Turner isn't out there like dominating the boards like Rudy Gobert or anything. But like he should be, he should be able to protect the paint a little bit better, and they just couldn't do it, honestly. Oh, and I think they also overpaid for Mikal Bridges. Like he could have locked down Siakam a little bit better, but they couldn't do anything.
That surprised
Not
me because
surprised.
that surprised me because they have two defenders, right? I don't want to interrupt you, but two defenders, Anunoby and Miles Bridges. But then you have Tyrese going up and you have Siakam going up. Continue. I was shocked with that.
Yeah. So in the end, obviously New York had the better two of the best three players in that series was for New York, but one of them is just so inconsistent. But what are your thoughts about that? I don't know if you saw after the game, they were announcing the MVP, Larry Bird MVP trophy, and you can kind of see Tyrese walk a little bit because I think he thought he was going to get it, and then Siakam got it. Do you agree that Siakam should? It was a very close one. Apparently, it was a 5-4
by 1 point,
by one vote. Do you agree, Siakam? Because I feel like Hallie kind of led the team in everything besides points scored, and that's what Siakam did. He led the team in points scored. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I was shocked. I was shocked that this was even a debate, or like I was surprised I was even that close. That, like you said, 5-4 Siakam, right? I mean, yeah, Siakam could have got 1 or 2 votes. I'm all with you, man. Tyrese. When you look, honestly, man, they're iconic moments, right, in playoffs. Like if I tell you, give me your top iconic moments, you're gonna say Robert Horry hitting that 3-pointer in Sacramento. You're gonna say what's his name, Prince from Detroit blocking Reggie Miller. Those are kind of like iconic moment from the conference finals,
Yeah.
And one of them is gonna be the choke. Tyrese did the choke, right? Even though it was a tie game, but they still came back. Everyone's gonna remember the Tyrese game, game 1. And to be honest with you, Siakam obviously had good game 2, and he had really good game 6 performance. He scored well, right? And then he also had a good game 4 performance too, for points, right? Like you said, he just did points. I felt that it was so much of Tyrese. They're game planning, what he's doing and everything that kind of left Siakam open. And at the same time, Siakam kind of got all his shots over. Like Karl Anthony cannot defend, man. He has stupid fouls. He put Siakam on free throw line so many times, and Siakam, he just went to him and did his fadeaway, and Cat couldn't even do anything about it, man. So I do agree that Tyrese set everyone up, man. And I was so shocked he did not get the Larry Bird MVP award. I mean, when they said Siakam, even though there's a meme out there of Tyrese kind of like taking photo and about to walk up, I was one of those guys thinking that, yeah, it is Tyrese. I was shocked too. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, it should be.
I mean, it's not like last year where, Jaylen Brown won over Tatum. Jaylen Brown played well the whole series. Tatum was on and off, We all knew Jaylen Brown was consistent last series in the finals, right? This one, we all knew Tyrese was there, man. Like, he had... Dude, the guy, one of the games, he had like 30-something points, like 15 assists and 12 rebounds, a triple-double, and with 4 steals.
15 assists, yeah.
And 4 steals. And nobody has done that, I mean, in the conference game, And so... I don't know why some of the writers didn't choose
Tyrese. 2 game winners, game 1 and 2. Like you just assume.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't do it, man. So yeah, man, that shocked me. I mean, I'm so shocked Tyrese didn't get it. I was like, okay, interesting. Like that's just not fitting, to be honest with you, man.
Yeah. Hang on one second. Let's pause real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you, man. It was definitely
good.
interesting to see Hallie not winning in that one, because I get like the numbers were more consistent from Siakam, but you kind of have to reward Hallie for having 2 game winners, dominating most of those games in the fourth quarter. That in itself should have won him the MVP because honestly, like I think you and I would probably predict the same thing, but OKC is gonna beat the living shit out of them. So like you want Hallie to have something for this historic performance that he had against the Knicks. So yeah, that was an awkward moment for sure because I think even Hallie thought like, yeah, I'm gonna win it, I'm gonna walk out and like celebrate, and then Siakam wins it. But like it is what it is, It was I guess it came down to the very last person, but yeah, it was just a weird. I honestly like when I heard it was Siakam, and I was like, that's not even close to what I was expecting, Like you said, Jaylen Brown last year made sense because he was the most consistent. But yeah, Siakam winning it was wild to me. That is wild.
I agree with you, man. I'm shocked.
As far as New York, right? So a lot of the New York media right now, right? They want Tibbs gone. They think, what's his name? Jalen Brunson didn't do enough. Like, there's just so much like backlash happening with the Knicks, right? Do you agree with that? Should there be some kind of change in Knicks, or where do you stand on that?
To be honest, Tibbs should be gone. I don't know why they're bringing him back. Is my recording good? Yeah, I mean, can you hear me? You good, Tapas?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I feel, I mean,
Yeah, you're at 2%, but yeah.
Okay. I don't know why. It's weird. But okay. It's like I'm in a cave or something. I don't know what the hell. But okay. But anyways, let me know if you need me to stop if I'm if it's not coming well. But
No,
Tibbs.
you're good.
All right. Tibbs is I'm surprised he's back. Tibbs effed up the series, man, to be honest. His rotations was not consistent. I mean, he started using his bench once he realized that we have to go deep because our players are getting tired. How he played Jalen Brunson, playing the first quarter and not bringing him back since like 4 minutes left in the second quarter, did not make any sense. And then he benched Josh Hart, but played him starters minutes. Did not make any sense to me at all. Because Mitchell would not play again.
Yeah.
Mitchell will play
He
the
does that
third
a
quarter,
lot.
and then he would never play again. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And then at the same time, they got to address Karl Anthony Towns. I heard that they had arguments, disagreements about his defense. Players were kind of getting irritated of his defensive, strategy, the way he was playing down low. He did commit a lot of stupid fouls, man, which I was kind of, even me, I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you committing that foul, I do think that they should think about breaking up Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, break them up. They play the same position, and you're not getting maximum value for either of them because they share the same position and they play the same way technically, right? So I do feel that that's kind of you're not maxing out on either of them, So they should think about revisiting a thing where they can package, one of them together with Karl Anthony Towns. Like, I was just kind of in the trade machine and kind of thinking what they could do that can get good value back. I personally lost every internet connection out there.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, dude. So what I was saying was basically they should break up, Miles Bridges and Anunoby. And in my opinion, what they should do is see what value they can get back. If I'm them, this team clearly cannot compete for the finals, NBA Finals. They're lucky that Boston, Tatum tore his Achilles, or else they'll be eliminated in the second round. Losing to Indiana back to back. Clearly, when you're the better team, losing to Indiana, and that's your rival, it's not gonna sit well with fans. What I would do is either they can choose Anunoby or Mikal Bridges, pair them up with Karl Anthony Towns. And I know a lot of people are not in favor of this, but go ask Phoenix Suns for Kevin Durant in return. I feel that, you already know that Mitchell Robinson is a better defensive player. And you do want him to play a lot more than Karl Anthony Towns because you can tell Thibodeau really trusted Mitchell Robinson's defense more than Karl Anthony Towns' offense, That's why they lost game 2 because Karl Anthony didn't play the fourth quarter in the game 2. It was Mitchell Robinson that was out there, right? And so that's kind of like a recipe for disaster. So if I'm them, go get Kevin Durant and break up one of them up so they can actually play their position correctly. Because right now you're not getting full capable value for what Mikal can do or Anunoby can do. They both play the same shit, man. Split them apart and go get a better player. What do you think? That's my view.
Yeah, I mean, there's two parts to it that I think. I agree there should be some kind of roster changes to happen. Like, yeah, I agree. Like, Mikal Bridges is so on and off. You don't know what's gonna happen. They are saying that either KD or Giannis could go to New York, but my opinion. But yeah, so what I was saying was that I think there should be some roster changes, not too much.
Yeah.
I think they need to keep a core group of guys. But in my opinion, I think New York honestly overachieved this year. Like, none of us
The Wi-Fi
had
went
them
out?
going to the Eastern Conference Finals. We didn't expect that. We thought it'd be Cleveland and Boston. So I think the fact that they even got this far is in itself like a good thing. Like, I mean, so I'm not sure where Knicks fans are like all like, oh my god, like we could have won it all. Like, they're not gonna beat the OKC Thunder. So like, yeah, you could have been the East Conference champions, but like, I think honestly they did overachieve and they got this as far as they did because I mean, who knows what the East will look like next year, especially with Tatum out. But that could be one reason why they should maybe go after Giannis. But and if they can, or like KD, like you said, would be a good option. But if they can't, like just run this team back. I think they have what it takes to get there again, and having more chemistry and more time together will help them. And I think Tibbs is a major I think Jalen Brunson really likes Tibbs a lot, so he's not gonna go anywhere. If Jalen Brunson likes him, he's not gonna be let go. Like it's one of those things where like the player controls how the coach is gonna go. And you saw it with LeBron for most of his entire career. Like LeBron doesn't like the coach, that guy's gone within a week, right? So in my opinion, I think the Knicks definitely overachieved and got so far. They can get a blockbuster player, great. If not, just keep what you have and get back to it again.
Yeah, I agree. But
yeah, so yeah, go ahead.
No. What I'm saying is, no, I agree with you about that, man. But I don't know how can they bring back Cat. His defense is not helping that team at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. How can you? That's my.
They can bring him back if he can commit to being a big man. I guess that's the thing with him, is that he just can't commit to being a big man. He's so wishy-washy with his defense and his low post game. He loves to shoot three. He's Joel Embiid essentially, where he wants to just take off plays and just shoot the three when he can. Whereas, if he can, like the East does not have a lot of bigs, like they don't have a Jokic in their side, or Anthony Davis in their side, where you have to like prepare for that. And he could be the best big man in the East, but he just won't commit to it. I don't know what the issue is with him.
He cries too much, man. Cries way
Yeah.
too much. He just bitches about every single ticky tack foul, man. So
Yeah.
I'm just
He
shocked.
fouls way too. I don't know if you saw that post game after Game 5. Chuck called him out. Like, man, you gotta stop making this stupid ass fouls. Like, you just take so. He's like, yeah, I know. Like, no, like really, you could be a good player if you just stop having those ticky tack fouls for no reason.
There's a foul that he just pushes people like Siakam. He
Yeah,
pushes,
like
what
why?
What kind of defense is that, man?
What are you achieving with that? So that the stage is set. Obviously, we have Pacers against OKC in the finals.
Wait. Do we really have Pacers versus OKC in the finals, or is it the Paul George finals? I don't know.
Let's get into that.
I don't know. Do you want to
Paul George
call?
effect.
Yeah. Do you want to call the OKC versus Pacers or Paul George finals? I don't know. You tell me, man.
That is this whole thing was set up because of Paul George. The both OKC and Indiana should send a big old thank you card to him, because of his trade, Pacers landed Hallie, and because of his trade, the Clippers gave up the entire future, including the MVP of the league, to OKC. All because of Paul George.
Do you know?
Crazy.
You know what's crazy? Let's take one step let's take a deeper dive, all right? Let's not even worry about Paul George. Do you want to know that Knicks contributed towards Knicks and what do you call? I think it's Seattle, right? At the time, they contributed to the OKC team that is right now. So what I'm trying to say is, let me tell you a fun fact, right? I actually have in my notes. So I gotta pull it up. So bear with me, Tapas. Bear with me, okay? So it's called the Rashard Lewis effect, right? So they did a sign and trade for a trade exception. So back in 2007, Lewis went from Orlando, right? Presti used that trade exception to observe Kurt Thomas. So what that means is that, do you remember that finals that Orlando made in 2010 against the Lakers? Rashard Lewis was a big contributor, right? And he moved on from Seattle to Orlando. And so in the return, what they gave was a trade exception, right? So that trade exception, they used that towards Kurt Thomas, because I think they want to get rid of Knicks wanted to get rid of Kurt Thomas, so they used it on Kurt Thomas, and Knicks also gave some few picks with it. So the exception to observe Kurt Thomas contract, and more importantly, they got 2 first-round picks out of it. All right, that 2 first-round picks, one of them was the 24th pick in 2008, the following year, that drafted Serge Ibaka. Now, this guy plays a big role. Ibaka plays a huge role in this now. So Sam Presti gets the key ingredient to Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka then gets traded to Serge Ibaka and Victor Oladipo gets traded to Sacramento,
Magic.
I think. Are you good? All right. Huh?
Sacramento?
No, hold on. Or no. Wait, hold on. No, sorry. Orlando.
Yeah, Magic, right?
Yeah, Orlando Magic. There you go. Orlando Magic. And then that's how they get the rights to. It says bonus for
That's
2016.
right.
Yeah, because Thunder actually drafted Sabonis.
Yeah.
But the rights then changes, right? So then Oladipo and Sabonis gets traded for Paul George to OKC, right? Because Sabonis was with OKC, right? So the Sabonis and Oladipo in 2017 get traded for Paul George because they want to pair Paul George and Russell Westbrook together in 2017, and then Paul George gets traded to Clippers for Shai Alexander, Daniel Gallinari. All the picks equals to Chet Holmgren, the Williamses,
Jalen Williams, yeah.
all the Williamses, all this draft assets they get. I mean, it's insane, man. It's crazy how Sam Presti started this in 2007 by trading Rashard Lewis's contract to Orlando for a trade exception, and then that trade exception got traded to New York for Kurt Thomas and 2 first-round picks that ultimately turned into Serge Ibaka. And Serge Ibaka played a huge role, man. Isn't that crazy how the teams who were in it, like Indiana was a big factor too. So it's insane, man. I don't know.
That is, I mean, honestly, I don't even know what that said about the Clippers at the time, or now the 76ers. But like, yeah, the fact that Paul George was the single-handed reason why all these two teams ended up with the roster they have, with the talent that they have now, the best players, all because of that is stemmed from that is wild to me. And both of those players have had more impact on their team than Paul George than either one of those teams. Like Paul George, Indiana, like Hallie has a much more important meaning behind what he's done for Indiana. Same with OKC, like Shea MVP, like literally better than. And we were already saying he's better than Kevin Durant as the best center of all time, best Thunder of all time. So like it's crazy to me that all this stems from just Paul George is being traded around.
It's crazy. It's crazy how Clippers became desperate. OKC knew how desperate they were, and like not only did they include, a lottery pick, Shai Alexander, but they also include all these draft picks just to make sure Kawhi Leonard ends up with the Clippers.
I was gonna say Kawhi Leonard is the reason why this all happened.
If you're a Clipper fan, don't you hate Kawhi right now? I mean,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one that told him, if you don't get me a second star like Paul George, I will go to the Lakers. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll do something. And then the next week they signed Paul George in this crazy trade. Like when we saw it, we're like, what the hell did they give up? I didn't even know the Clippers had that many picks to give out. That's crazy to me.
No, they did.
And
they did.
That team didn't surmise do anything.
And then see, like not to kind of get sidetracked. I know that I know how you feel about LeBron. I always got to bring this in, but that's the thing. Is this right, Matt? LeBron puts like crazy pressure on the management, like crazy pressure, right? To win now situation, right? Like I say, F the picks, right? But like the difference between LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard, right? That was the stupidest, pussiest move by Kawhi Leonard, to be honest. Why not? Why? Okay, I'm telling you right now, that management that Clippers had or has or did have was really good, man. They had Jerry West at the leading horn, right? And then they have what's that guy's name who wrote the LeBron's Welcome Home from Cleveland, from Miami? I forgot his name. He joined that management as well too. He worked for Sports Illustrated. He was a writer for them. And then they have Frank, who's also the GM. They have a strong, system, right? If Kawhi Leonard would only be patient, right? Because the thing is this, Kawhi Leonard puts so much pressure saying that, hey, look, if you don't get Paul George, who I want to play with, I'm gonna go sign with the Lakers. Why would you even put that? First of all, if you're Clippers, why would you even want to entertain that? Because it took so much from you, man. It took Shai Alexander, who's 19 at the time, took 4 first-round picks, 4 swaps, just to acquire Paul George. And to be honest with you, I'm sorry. Paul George was good. Like, right? He was an all-star. At that time, he could have been a cuss maybe becoming a superstar, but who was not a superstar. Everyone knew he was an all-star player, very good player, right? He's not worth 4 first-round picks and 4 swaps and a Shai Alexander, man. That was so
for
stupid.
sure.
If they would have, if Kawhi was smart, which he's not, honestly, like now looking back at it, Kawhi is an idiot, to be honest. If you would have just said, "Fine, I'll sign with you," but you like what LeBron tells the GM when he goes into it, look, man, I need a championship team within a year or two. And that's what LeBron did. When LeBron signed with the Lakers, like it or not, Tapis, when he signed with the Lakers in 2018, right? And we had a roster of young guns, right? Rookies, right? And like nobody was an all-star, nobody was a superstar, nothing like that. LeBron signed knowing that I'm putting faith in Rob and Magic and Giddy, that in a year or two, this team is going to become a championship team. And they promised him. Magic's pitch was, look, man, we have, even Magic said in interviews with all the smokes, with Barnes and Steven Jackson, he even said it. When I pitched to LeBron, I told him this: come to Lakers, give us a year or two. We know who's available. We know Kawhi's available. We know a couple other stars were available.
AD
is going to be available, right? So he's like, give us time. Don't let's not show our cards to other teams. Let's play and we'll be fine. I'll get you a championship team. And to be honest, I know Magic left within a year, but Rob Pelinka still continued with that vision. And Rob Pelinka, like it or not, he could have overpaid for Anthony Davis because New Orleans could have been like, nah, we're not going to trade him there. We want everything, right? Even the Lakers did give up everything, but not everything. We still had Kuzma in there still with the Lakers, We didn't give him up. He was good at the time. Kuzma was actually, right there with the top, young guys we had, So I should have just been patient, man. Trusted Jerry West. Just wait. If you had one down year, that's fine. But they would have like not gave up everything. Imagine keeping SGH and just giving up your draft picks to go get somebody else. Maybe they could have got Paul George. They could have got somebody else, right? But imagine having SGH still, man, with Kawhi Leonard, man. I think personally, if I'm a Clipper fan, man, I would hate Kawhi right now because the pressure that he put up on the management was so stupid, man. He should have just been patient. What do you think?
I agree with you. I mean, I think they have other reasons to hate Kawhi too. The fact that he plays only like half of his real games, anyways. Like he's a no-show. He doesn't market the team at all. Like he doesn't even try to attract stars to come to the Clippers. He doesn't do anything for them, right? So like, why? What kind of superstar is that? Where like he's just kind of just happy making money and going to practice. And I agree with you. Like if I'm being drafted or if I'm going to sign with Jerry West. Jerry West's history. He brought Kobe into the Lakers. He brought Pau Gasol. He brought a three-peat championship to the Lakers. Like that this guy knows what he's doing. Just trust the process. Let it happen, right? Like just let it be, and then you will get what you need to do. He was just so impatient. I guess he, coming off with that. That's when he came off the Toronto win. Again, he wouldn't have won a championship if Kevin Durant didn't tear his Achilles. Like that was not going to happen. Like it's not the fact that Toronto was a better team and they beat the Giants. They literally got lucky, just like how the New York Knicks got lucky with Tatum being out. So it's not the fact that the Kawhi dominated that series by any means, because I think even then Klay Thompson tore his ACL in the same series too. Like just madness, right? So the fact that he forced it on them was terrible, and I think now. And me, like as long as you know me, I've never been a big Paul George guy. And our buddy is a Philly fan. He's like telling me about Paul George. Oh, like when they signed him, he's so great. I was like, I don't know what you guys see in him. He's not that good. Like he's a good, solid role player who takes a lot more shots. But he's not the same guy ever since he had his knee injury, right? So the fact that now he's sitting back podcasting about the two teams that he was in that are there because of him, that's just the irony itself. It's crazy to me.
I think that's insane, dude. Insane, crazy. Like I don't know how that even happens. Like I mean, like Paul George left two organizations. They're in the finals. So does that mean Clippers are making it next year though? That's my question to you. Because he's with he did play for Clippers and he left with. So I'm just saying, man.
As far as his finals, OKC and Indiana, who you got and how many games?
This Pacers team reminds me of the last team that played like the Pacers, where you kind of underestimated them and they just still won that series, is the 2000 and Was it 2003 or 2004 Detroit Pistons?
Before, yeah.
Oh,
So
for Pistons.
3P, right?
Yeah, and no one had him. No one had him even making the finals, right? They were barely a playoff team, and they made a trade for Rasheed Wallace in the deadline, and they ended up getting him, and then they just took off. That's when they had Tarion Prince, or no, not Tarion Prince. What's his name? Prince. I forgot his name. Tyson Prince and Hamilton and Chauncey, Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace. You had like all those players. Tayshaun Prince. You know, who was a great defender too at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really have a true star, right? They had a bunch of all-stars. Like that, Chauncey Billups was a good leader, like an all-star. You had Ben Wallace, who's a defensive force down low. Rasheed Wallace, who's a really good player, really good power forward, you know, at the time. And Rip Hamilton was an all-star, you know, like a good player. This Indiana team really reminds me of that team, you know, where there's no true stars, right? There's a bunch of good players, good all-stars out there, you know? Like Siakam's a good all-star. Haliburton's a good all-star. You know, Miles Turner is a good all-star. You know, there's no two bona fide. It's not SGH being there kind of thing, you know? So, all in all, man, I mean, OKC better not overlook what Indiana has done. Indiana is not like New York Knicks where they got lucky with Boston, letting them shoot all those threes and missing them and not play defense. Indiana, I mean, I don't know if you saw that game 6, man. They killed Jalen Brunson. The way Nembhard defended him, like, wow. I never seen anyone defend a point guard or shooting guard like a star like that, man. Like in the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, the way, you know, Nembhard was defending, you know, freaking Brunson was insane. They have the tools to slow down SGH. Showed slowing, because look, I feel that Jalen Brunson is an offensive stud. He can shoot over anyone. He can get his own shot anytime he wants. He's very good. And Jalen Brunson is just like SGH. He's a foul bait. You know, he can get to the foul line anytime, and they limited that too as well. Indiana played well defense, really good defense. So I do see that, you know, Indiana has players that can suffocate SGH, like putting Nembhard or putting somebody else on him, you know, and like kind of like getting him trapped, right? I feel that, you know, everyone's picking OKC in 5. I want to give Indiana some respect and not pick OKC in 5. I do think that, you know, overall, OKC should win this series, you know, in 6. But if they mess around like how New York did in game 1 and just kind of mess around and lose that game and give a game away, then Indiana is gonna take that. And so my heart tells me Indiana, my mind tells me OKC. So what I'm choosing is, I hate saying this because I do like OKC.
They're disrespect, brother. What do OKC have to do? What do they have to do? They dominated their West Conference Finals. They beat probably the favorite, the Denver Nuggets, in a gritty game 7. Absolutely demolished the first round because you had them losing the first round. And here we are, you're sitting here still saying Pacers.
I only had them losing first round if they played the Golden State Warriors. I told you that.
No, you say you never know. The Memphis Grizzlies are so good. You don't know what's going to happen. Because that's what you specifically said. And I'm like, bro,
Ja went out.
A different team.
But Ja went out, though. Even Ja said it, too. Ja's like, if I was playing, we would have upset them.
They beat him by 50 points in game 1, dude. It was not even close. It was a no contest. Like, you playing against Kobe Bryant one-on-one, it was no contest, dude.
You know, I'll tell you a quick story. It was a Memorial Day massacre in Lakers, in like, I think it was a 84 run or one of the championship run, where one of the games in Boston Garden, the Lakers got massacred by 40 plus points. It was called Memorial Day Massacre. Lakers still end up winning that series. So what I'm trying to say is that, yes, I understand OKC massacred Memphis, but if Ja would have played, I don't know, man.
Same happened in the Timberwolves game, right? Game 3. No, game 4. They lost by 40 points? Came back and won it in 5.
How about this? I'll tell you why I'm choosing the Pacers. All right. I do feel that look, the way I look at the series, the way I look at the finals, the way I pick my series, give me 5 players from both sides. Top 5 players from the both sides, right? And 1 is gonna be Shai Alexander, SGH. But then 2, 3, and 4, I feel it's Tyrese, Siakam, and Miles Turner. And then
You're
and
out
then
of your mind.
and then
You're out of your mind.
listen to
dude.
me.
Stop. No, you're out of your mind, brother. You are
Listen
out of
to
your
me.
mind.
Look,
You put Miles Turner in there before
Williams.
Jalen Williams
Yes.
and Chet Holmgren. You're
Yes.
out of your mind.
Because
Oh my god.
they're young and they're not consistent. You saw that in Minnesota series. They're young but they're not consistent.
What are you talking about? What did Miles average against New York?
He didn't average much. He didn't average much.
13 points.
Yeah,
5
he didn't average
rebounds.
much. His present was he
What
hit
did Chet
timely
Holmgren
threes.
average?
Like I think 14 points. I think around there too. Same ballpark. I think
15, 16 points.
Around there.
Same with Jalen Williams.
He was. I know. I just feel that they're more experienced. Indiana's a little more experienced.
How? They have both made the same amount of playoff turns. Both of these teams back-to-back years.
Siakam has won the finals, right? He's been there, right?
Okay. Do you honestly believe Siakam is the best player in this series?
No, I told you SGA is.
SGA. Then you have Siakam number 2.
No, I have Tyrese.
Then you have
Siakam. Yeah.
Then you have Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Your argument stops there. We'll
find out.
Stops there.
We'll find out what. No. Don't even call me Skip Bayless. I'm telling you right now, man. This Indiana team,
up in this.
dude. This Indiana team made me a believer. After what happened against New York, dude, I literally thought New York was gonna win in 5 games. That's how bad I thought Pacers were.
Okay. Can you tell me? Right? You brought this on yourself. You brought my exact point on yourself. Okay. You said that the great Pistons win against the Lakers, right? That was a great one. What did they win with? With defense.
Yeah, and right? Indiana plays defense.
The Lakers with a potential back-to-back three-peat. Or not three-peat,
quadruple.
Winning a championship, right? They beat them with defense. And this is exactly what OKC is going to do. Indiana has not faced a defense like the OKC is going to be facing. They face Giannis without Dame in first round, no defense in that team whatsoever. Doc Rivers can't play defense, can't coach defense anymore. Second round, Cleveland Cavaliers were just a great offensive team. They play no defense. Same with the Knicks, no defense.
Yeah, I agree.
Now you get to the best defensive team we've had in quite some time, almost a decade. That's this dominant. You're telling me you're going to say SGA is going to be shut down by Haliburton? Or Siakam's going to go off? Or Miles Turner is going to dominate this? Brother. This is OKC in...
Don't tell me 5. Don't tell me 5, man. Come on, dude. You can't say that. Honestly.
Haliburton, helicopter, chicken tikka shawarma, whatever. OKC in...
Dude, you're gonna be that disrespectful to Pacers?
Goddamn right.
I'll tell you right now, man.
Because I have respect for OKC. I'm like you.
Picking OKC in 5, bro. That's disrespecting Pacers like crazy. I'm only saying 6.
What did I choose OKC against
5.
The Wolves?
5.
Was it even close? Nope.
It wasn't. Hey, man, I'll tell you right now, man.
Same with the Grizzlies. I had them in 5. Wasn't close, and I said from that. The team that wins against Denver and OKC was going to be the champion. And they took them.
I've seen like so many upsets in different sports of heavy favorites losing. Your Patriots, Broncos against Seattle with Russell Wilson had no business winning that Super Bowl. They massacred them in that Super Bowl. We watched together. You made the amazing nachos that you still haven't made nachos for me. That nachos you made at your house.
Guess why they won?
Defense. I understand. Defense. But what I'm trying to say, Indiana's not bad in defense either, though, man. The way they're
not even in the same stratosphere.
I agree with you about that. Fine. Okay, fine. But the way Nembhard and Smith defended, amazing.
You could pull all the names out of your little hat, man. It doesn't matter.
One
thing I will say is Indiana is very unpredictable, right? They you don't know what Haliburton is going to give you. He can go off for 30, or he can go off like he did in Game 5 for 6. You don't know what he's going to get, right? Siakam will probably do the most damage, but Siakam is going to face Lou Dort, who literally shut down Anthony Edwards. Are you telling me Siakam is a better player than Anthony Edwards? Don't even think about that. You know it's not true. Lou Dort, of all players, second team all defense, shut him down.
Was that more Lou Dort? Of course. Anthony Edwards just being an idiot.
I mean, he's both, but Anthony Edwards, like you said, he was doing whatever he thought he was supposed to do, which is exactly what OKC wanted him to do.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, he's an idiot for thinking that he's doing the right thing. But Siakam is also going to be the same way. Like, he's not, I mean, not that he controls the game by any means that Haliburton does, but I think Caruso will definitely freaking bother the hell out of Haliburton. Caruso is going to do a number on him.
What are you going to do? Okay, tell me this. So, what are you going to do if they split this first 2 games? Are you going to be little? They're that confident they're not. If they lose this game 1, bro, we're doing a live pod. I'm telling you right now, we're doing a pod right away. If they lose game 1, I'm getting you on this pod.
Is a series or game?
Game 1. If they lose this first game,
game 1
Thursday. Ooh.
In OKC, just hang on. How about this? The person who if the Pacers win, I'll do the aerial yoga thing that your wife did. But it's OKC wins, you gotta do it.
I can't do that, man. OKC is too good. I can't do that. There's no way.
Stand by your pick, man. Stand by your pick.
I can't. I love it's not my Lakers. I would have done that bet if it was Lakers playing right now against OKC. I would have done it. I'm that stupid that I would have picked Lakers over OKC, and I would have bet you that. I don't live or die by Pacers. I don't give a shit what Pacers do. There's no way I'm that flexible and pull my dislocated my knee in that case. Hell no, dude.
OKC's favor is a minus 750 favored in this.
They're giving better odds. Did you hear this? They're giving better odds to the Jets making the playoffs than Pacers winning this finals.
It's that crazy, dude.
That's insane.
This is gonna be a crazy one.
Oh my gosh, man. Do you want to hear something crazy, man? Do you want to hear something crazy? If you went to Game 7 for Pacers and Knicks, sorry to go back, but they said that the courtside seats was going to go for $250,000.
Damn,
dude. Game 7, dude.
Out of my house.
But dude, $250,000, dude. So that means if you take another person, that's $500,000. It's funny because Shannon Sharp's podcast. He had Chad Ochocinco and Dwight Howard on, and he said that, and he said that, right? That's the reason I got that. $250,000. Shannon Sharp's like, if I'm gonna be paid that, I better get a picture with the New York Knicks. I better get their shoes, their jerseys. Like, imagine that. It's like, if I'm gonna pay $500,000 for that, I better be getting their pairs of shoes. I'm like, yo, that's true though, dude. Imagine $250,000. Who has that type of money though, man? To just people do, I guess.
Will be there. Chalamet will be there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, but that's crazy, man.
That is crazy, dude. I mean, that would have been great for the NBA, honestly. I don't know if the ratings for this final is gonna be good or not.
It's not gonna be good, man. It's gonna be the one. Do you remember that finals back in 2000 and I want to say 5 or 6, where it was San Antonio against New Jersey?
Oh yeah. No one watched that thing.
It was like everyone knew San Antonio was gonna win that. Everyone knew San Antonio was gonna win.
Yeah.
Two small market teams, right? Making it. It's like, what the hell is this? Do you want to hear another fun nugget, dude? So if I'm OKC, this is not fairing them, and this is not a good news for you if you're OKC. So Siakam plays a huge role. Has been there for key players getting serious injured. So back in 2000 and I want to say 17, do you remember that time Victor Oladipo for Indiana Pacers played so well that one time in 17? He was going off. Well, he got injured that game, right? In the playoff game. It was against Toronto Raptors. And who was present? Siakam was present. Do you remember the 2019 NBA Finals that Toronto Raptors won against Golden State Warriors? Klay Thompson, tore his ACL, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Siakam was there, present. Fast forwarding a couple of days later, Durant, ruptures Achilles. Siakam was present. Fast forward to this year, Damian Lillard tearing up his Achilles. Siakam was present.
So then we already used this one injury thing for Dame.
I hope so, man. Because if Shai gets injured, bro, and Siakam's present, bro.
The thing is, OKC is a much more deeper team than the Knicks or Bucks or Cavs. Right, they're much deeper teams. So I think that even if there was some kind of injury, like let's say, knock on wood, like Chet gets injured, whatever, like they'll still be all right. I would still pick them to win it all. But I mean, it's gonna be a lot closer than people expected. I think this is a better matchup. This is a better matchup in terms of if it was Knicks or the Pacers. I think Pacers will probably put a better fight
Yeah,
against OKC
exactly. I
than
agree.
the Knicks were gonna do.
I agree with you about
Because the
that for
Knicks are
sure.
so top heavy that, like, again, Cat was not gonna do anything against this team, and then Brunson will probably be shut down anyway. So
I
at
agree with
least the
you.
Pacers are a little bit more deeper in their team.
Hey man, you give them 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a Knicks, I would have said a sweep. I give him one game, which is gonna be game 4, gentlemen's sweep.
Really? I thought you would choose game 3 maybe because that's their first home game in the NBA Finals.
Rio, they win the game, because Pat McAfee will probably go out there call people more bitches,
Son of a bitches,
and then
send them back.
and then game 5 will be
OKC has nobody, man. Who's their main celebrity in that game?
tornadoes.
Send that son of a bitch back,
But nonetheless, should be a good one, dude. Should be a good series. I will definitely watch it, and just
I'll watch
me, I'll
it.
be texting you like, you still doubting the OKC? You still doubting OKC? What's up with this, man?
I'll watch it, man. I mean, it's gonna be good. Honestly, it's two different.
Basketball.
It's two small market teams that's getting a chance to actually win a championship. Did you hear what Miles Turner said after the game was over?
I was gonna ask you the same thing. Yeah. But super teams, right? Yeah.
What do you think about that? Tell me your take first.
I agree. Like the past 3 championships, right? So OKC this year, Boston and Denver, right? That past 3, all homegrown champions. Right, people say Boston was a big 3, but that's because they're all homegrown.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I think super teams are not doing anything anymore. Like Embiid and Paul George, nothing. I mean, I guess people put Luka and LeBron in the same one. I don't think that's really a super team right now. We're not a super team right now. Kevin Durant's Suns super team back at home, right? So there's no super teams that are really doing anything. Milwaukee Bucks too. So like, I think that era is gone. It's all about growing the talent and having them develop together and getting the consistency. And that's where it's at right now. What do you think?
The reason. Okay, so it's funny. The super team is gone, right? It's completely gone. It's more about having a team now, right? It's having a deeper bench and can play well. I feel like the second apron has killed every super teams out there. The whole no-show about it, because the second apron is killer, man. You're limited to do what you can do. If you're in second apron, you can't do a sign and trade. You can't. If you're in second apron, you can't even like sign a player if it's waived. Like like sometimes some players, like some good players, like veterans, get waived in March to make the playoff roster for April, right? You got to get in.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in second apron, you can't even go sign a player like that, So it handicaps you, right? And at the same time, you're paying crazy tax money if you're a second apron. So that was the whole purpose in the last CBA, is to put the second apron in, is to help the small market team to kind of make it more even playing field, which it happened. So for Miles Turner to say that there is no super team, there is no buddy system anymore here, it's all going to be, you're going to need a team to win. I agree to disagree to that. Both can be true, right? Yes, you can't have that super team anymore. And yes, there is no more LeBron being friends with everyone, making them their teammates, you got to actually have a team to win this series, right? But I'll be telling you right now, straight up to Miles Turner's face, that you do need a superstar and top-heavy player. He's going to find out against OKC that Shai is a superstar. Boston could have been there if Tatum stayed healthy. Like, Indiana would not see the day and light. And Indiana knows from last year, there was like a gentleman's sweep, that Boston is way above everybody, And so, yeah, you do technically need a duo, but maybe not a 3-4 enforcers anymore. But like, I'm just telling you, man, like, if Lakers somehow pair, Luka and Jokic together, it's all over. I mean, so I mean, I do feel like you still need a superstar and maybe another, like a Robin or a Batman part 2, But I don't know what Miles Turner was trying to get at it, because to be honest with you, he's gonna find out that there is no super team, but you do need a bona fide superstar.
Yeah, like that's that. I'm glad you mentioned that too, because like technically OKC, future wise, they do have a super team now, and it's kind of like, people when they say Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, they're like, they didn't think it was their super team yet. They're all talented players, but if in the future you fast forward, they would be super team. that's kind of what's happening right now with OKC. Like Chet, Jalen Williams, and SGA are legitimate young super teams. That's what they are.
Exactly.
And then they just have a core group of people who know how to play defense in there. So like, yeah, Miles Turner, I think he's just trying to hope that that's the best thing. I think the best thing for small market team is to not go after super teams.
Yes.
And I think the big markets will still need super team because the big markets want to have people come to their games. Like, New York is going to go heavily after Kevin Durant and Giannis. They need to, because they need to fill the seats. Same with Lakers, need a big superstar now to fill the seats, and that's the only way we're going to get it. We're not going to say, oh yeah, Luka, just wait a couple of years for the talent to develop. He's like, oh fuck that, I'm out of here if you can do that. I need to win now. So there are some specific teams that will need a super team because that's how you're going to sell tickets, and that's what the owners really care about. And then there's some teams, like small market ones, like Pacers, where they will be okay just developing and hoping to get somewhere. But that's also kind of risky, because if you have a Boston, and let's say Jason Tatum 2 years down the line is better, you're not going to win against a healthy Boston again. Once you come back, it's over.
I guarantee you Indiana's not going to pay Tyrese that max deal in his second or third year.
You don't think so?
I mean, this upcoming contract, they will. But when he gets to that 10th year, because Tyrese got traded from Sacramento to what do you call Indiana, so he's not gonna get that super max, but he's gonna. But on this 10th year, if he signs a shorter deal, that 10th year you can actually get that super max. That's what Luka is planning on doing. Luka can recoup all that money that he lost in Dallas trade if he signs smaller deals and get to that year 10. And then to sign that maximum super deal. Dude, Tyrese is going to be worth so much, man. I mean, I think Tyrese is going to be eligible for that $300 million easily, man, to be honest, with the next contract.
For sure.
You think Indiana's going to... No, man. They're not going to keep him, man. They're going to try to see if they can get draft picks and picks out of that, dude. So you're going to see a lot of changes. That's why Shams said that there's going to be a lot of moves, because there are players out there that teams don't want to pay that super max anymore. It's just not worth it. That's another reason why Dallas traded Luka. It's not because Luka is being fat. I'm sure the owner, told the GM that, is he worth that 300 and something million for us to win this? And he's like, no. Okay, then why are we going to pay that guy that much money, man? Yeah. It's insane, man. So, but yeah, man, I agree with you. This big market, they need big time players if they can afford it. Got to put, like I said, that $250,000 for Game 7 could have been, but like, exactly. But like Lakers, they got their guy for the future. They got to get another player, hopefully soon, and get the ball rolling. New York, I do feel New York is gonna, like you said, they're gonna be in contention for either Durant or Giannis. I'm telling you, man, they're gonna break that team apart. They need to break that team apart. When I was watching New York play, Bridges and Anunoby play the same freaking way.
Yeah.
And they're getting in each other's way. I don't know if you noticed that. Because they both can't play well together. They didn't play well together. Because they both play good defense and good offense, and they're both small forwards. They got to make a choice, man. They got to move on from one of them and pair him up with Cat and go get Durant. Imagine having Jalen Brunson, either Mikal or Anunoby on your wing, and having Durant as your power forward, man, going forward. That's a really fucking good team, man.
Yeah.
That you got Durant, who's a closer, who's a superstar. Like I said, remember, Durant is a guy. The one thing I like about Durant, you can plug him in any team because you don't have to run any plays for him.
Exactly.
Because he's going to be ready to pop and shoot, man. He's a pure shooter, man. And that's what you need, and New York is going to heavily think about that. And think about if you're Phoenix Suns, you can potentially get Karl Anthony Towns to pair up with Devin Booker, and you can potentially get Anunoby or someone, man. I mean, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Or get Bridges back.
Get Bridges back. Trade him. Exactly. Or get Bridges back, man. So I'm saying, like, there's going to be a wide range, like Giannis. I mean, there's a rumor that came out today that Toronto's going highly after Giannis too. They're a sleeper because, no one thought Kawhi would go to Toronto, and he did, right? And so Ujre...
They got traded there, right?
Yeah. Kawhi got traded to Toronto, yes.
Yeah.
And so
that was just Pop being an asshole about it. That's why.
Oh yeah, but that worked. But Ujre is the one who took a chance. Like, I think we can win the finals. And then he took a chance. And I think Ujre can read those foreign players because he's kind of international mind as well. So I think Giannis would feel comfortable in Toronto, and Toronto has a good team, man. I mean, they have Brandon Ingram, who, if he stays healthy, he's a really good player. And you got one budding super young star, trying to be a superstar in Scotty Barnes, So they have,
Mhm.
And they have a wing shooter, Dix, who can shoot the ball pretty well. So they have a good, and then they have what's his name, Quickly from New York Knicks, and then they have the other guy too. Gosh, I forgot his name. Dude, small forward. What's his name? They have him too. Gosh,
Forget.
I forgot his name, but they have a good team, man. So we'll see what happens, man. But there's gonna be a lot of shake, though. I'll be telling you that right now.
Yeah, I'm excited, dude. I do wonder what's gonna happen. I think, yeah, Giannis and KD probably the two biggest to see where they end up. They probably will get traded. I think that's the likely move because they both don't want to be there. So that'd be interesting, man. I don't know if Lakers do we go all in this summer or do we wait for Jokic? What would you do?
I
Would
mean,
you try to go after Giannis and KD,
I
or
don't
would you
honestly,
wait?
man. Honestly, I don't like. I'll be honest with you. I'll be straight up with you. After what I saw Giannis and Dame play together, I hate Giannis and Luka pairing. You know why? They're both point
Ball
guards, man.
dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And LeBron learned that in Miami. That's why LeBron can do it. Because LeBron,
Mhm.
I don't remember in early stages in Miami, him and Dwayne were like buddy
Yeah.
heads. And
Yeah.
Dwayne's the one's like, I will take the back seat. LeBron, you take care of the ball now if you want to do that, right? That's the reason that helped. The way Giannis didn't play well with Damian, and Damian's not a true point guard, but he still needs the ball as well. It showed
Mhm.
me that Giannis can't play without the ball. Giannis wants to bring the ball up. Giannis wants to do
Yeah.
everything, right?
That's true.
And if you take the ball out of Luka's hand, what's Luka good for, man? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
nothing, right? I personally, I mean, you're gonna be shocked. I don't want Giannis. I'll be honest with you. If we get it, if we make it work, fine, whatever. That's good. I personally think that if we can somehow get Jokic, if look, this offseason will tell you a lot because Jokic will be eligible for an extension. If he signs that extension, because Jokic, I don't think he can make more money free agent or right now. It'll be the same money, I think, if I'm not wrong. I gotta look into how it works. Some players like Austin Reeves can make less right now. When he becomes a free agent, he can make more, right? That's different, right? I don't know if that's the same way with Jokic or not, because some players will get the same money, I think, because they're already eligible, right, with the same team. So if Jokic doesn't sign that extension, right, Lakers kind of got to be careful because then they have a chance to get Jokic out of Denver and come to the Lakers. But you do need a center. I do feel that Lakers should try to go get the center, and Lakers have the same problem as New York. We have Rui Hachimura, we have Dorian Finney-Smith, and we have Jared Vanderbilt. All play the same position. And you gotta trade one of them away, or at least two of them away, to make room for the other guy to be, solidify their position, right? So I do think that we do have picks to give up, and honestly, I think the Lakers have moved on from Dalton Connect, and he has value right now. There's teams out there that can take him and want him. So I think Lakers will definitely do something about that center position. We got to get a center that Luka can play with right now. And if Jokic does fall in your hands, then you can go get him. So don't go after a crazy player that has a big contract. Go for a center that you can utilize right now, but that won't hurt your cap. And for the coming years. So that's the thing. That's a strategy for Lakers. I would take and go from there. But I do not want Giannis, man. Actually, I would want Durant more than Giannis. I know you're gonna be like, why?
Durant would be a better fit for our team.
Exactly. So I would want. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would want Durant or Giannis. Giannis is not a good fit with the point guard, man. Unless you don't have a point guard. If you're like a Boston Celtics, don't have a point guard. Like Drew Holiday is not really a point guard. Like Giannis played well with Drew Holiday. Like you don't need a point because they played really well. It's kind of like Kobe and Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher was a really good player. With Kobe because Kobe can't play with a point guard. It's kind of like that. So I'm just saying, I'm not a big Giannis fan, man. I hope we don't get him, so.
Let's see, man. Let's see what happens. I mean, it will be definitely a very crazy offseason.
Hell yeah, man. Can't wait.
All right, anything else we want to go
over? Yankees and Dodgers, man. Dodgers blew out the Yankees 2-1. They played 3-game stand in LA. On Saturday, we beat them 2-18, man. It's insane. Friday, we won that game pretty close, not too close. And then Sunday, we gave them a game away, to New York. They won, Today, we're playing Mets, and we're right now bottom of the 8th. We're down by 1. It was 2-1 right now, man. So let's see how New York Mets, we fare off with and go from there.
That was a satisfying win against the 18-2 against Yankees, especially with most of our starter pitching again not healthy, and we're still out there dominating the Yankees.
This is insane, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Imagine that our starting lineup, man, is still in IL or DL, whatever you want to call it, man. Blake Snell still injured.
Yeah.
freaking like the closer we signed is the worst closer right now. No, Glassdown is out too. But I'm saying our closer, I forgot his name. He's out. He's not playing well at all. And we're still winning games. I'm telling you, man, Dodgers are probably just kind of winning games just to stay above the ground. But they're not. They're not playing serious right now. When it gets to August,
100%. I think this is just like last year, where like our pitching was kind of on and off, but our offense, I mean, our hitting just kind of helped us win the games. So it's same right now, but I'm hoping that before the break we can get healthy, dude. We need to get back on track with our starting pitchers. At least get some reps in with them. So for the playoffs, we don't have to depend on miraculous comebacks like we did in the freaking World Series.
In August, that'll tell you more about where our pitching staff is, man.
Yeah.
And so right after the deadline's over, hopefully we're good to go. And I like where we're at, man. A cool stat, man. When I was watching Sunday Night Baseball, or one of the games I was watching, and they said that Ohtani is the only player that they had a consensus thing from all the umpires, like, what'd you notice? And they said that Ohtani is the only player in MLB that no one has ever done this, that greets the umpire and the catcher every time by their name.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. And even the coach for the other team.
Yeah,
so make sure,
So usually players will do it at first bat when they're up. They'll say hello to the umpire and the catcher. Not the coach from the other side, but usually there's hello to the umpire and the catcher. Their first at bat, but then like their second, third, and fourth, they will just continue playing. But Shohei, every time he comes up to the plate, he will say hello to the umpire and the catcher by their names, and then he'll tip his cap to the manager for the other team and just say, kind of sign of respect, which I think is pretty cool. With Kasi move, I think
he's so respectful, dude. Like he's so wholesome that and it's good that he's the face of MLB right now. Him and Aaron Judge probably two faces. But that's what you want. Like you want that respect, and he's very respectful.
Exactly.
Not only to obviously the other team, but also to the fans and everybody. You just see he's a good guy all around.
Exactly.
It's a gambling issue.
It's fine, man. I have gambling issue on Price Pick. I lose and I still play, so it's okay. I know how it goes, Ohtani. It's okay, man. But yes, so.
That's so cool, though. Like, I mean, honestly, I know he always greets the other umpire. The other coach. I always see it, and some of the coaches are also thrown off. I'm like, oh, he's actually saying hi to me. Like, hey, because the coach is really mad or something, and then be like, oh, hey, Ohtani, just to completely change his entire demeanor. It's so cool.
It's insane. And Luka kind of has that same type of way to go too. He's very nice and humble. He's friendly guy. He'll say hello to everybody and coach and be respectful. Yeah. And then he's a killer on the court.
Then in the game he will be an absolute killer. And
exactly.
He'll cuss and all this kinds of get in your face.
Exactly.
But, when they're not playing, he's super nice guy.
Exactly, man. So be cool, man. So it's good to know, man. So yeah, man. Anything else you want to add, man? Or you want to go over anything?
No, man. That's it, dude. I mean, we got nothing for football yet. We have just I think Saquon got the Madden cover, so pretty much Eagles are not repeating, right? They're out. So
the Rams,
we'll see what happens.
The Rams.
The Rams. There you go, the Rams.
Hey, everyone's picking Rams being the second best team. Just saying.
I believe it, honestly, and I know I give you a lot of crap about it, but if that defense that we saw in the playoffs shows up just a little bit throughout the whole year, they are a legitimate second best team.
If we would have guarded Jalen Carter, that would have been an easy pass.
One play.
That would have been an easy pass to Puka or whoever the F you want to call it, man. That would have been an easy pass. Just block a Jalen Carter, man. That would have. Oh my gosh. That would be crazy.
We'll never know. Hopefully this year they don't make the same mistake again. But yeah, I do agree. I think the Rams, if that defense shows up again, they are legit because Matthew Stafford's gonna do what he does, and Puka will do what he does. I don't have the most faith in Devontae Adams. I know you do. You think he's the second coming of freaking Randy Moss in his prime, but he'll be all right. He'll be like an Odell Beckham for you guys. Yes. I think Puka is still the main guy.
Another good stat I want to tell you before I let you go. Back in 2000, right? New York and Indiana faced off each other in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't know if you remember, Indiana went on to go to the NBA Finals to face the Lakers. I think the first, in 2000. In that Eastern Conference Finals, Who are the head coaches for Pacers and New York? I'll tell you, it's Van Gundy for New York.
And Rick Carlisle, right?
No, Larry Bird.
Oh, that's right, Larry Bird.
Who are their top two assistants?
I don't know.
So for Indiana, top assistant was Rick Carlisle. Indiana.
And that's right. And then he had
Tibbs.
What's his name?
Tibbs,
yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
Like how full circle moment, man. And Indiana beat them too to move on to the NBA Finals.
Right.
You know, to face the Lakers, and we won our championship. Kobe.
That's
so it's
crazy.
Crazy, right? Full circle moment, man. I want to it's a fun nugget to throw out before. I know we're not going to talk about New York and Indiana anymore, so I want to throw that last nugget out for them, man. That was pretty cool.
I remember Tibbs being the defensive guy in New York. I totally forgot that Carlisle was started off in Indiana. Mm-hmm. I just know him from Dallas days with Dirk.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's crazy.
It's insane, man. So it's crazy. It'll be a good series, man. I mean, I'm excited for it. Let's see. I just want a good series, man. You say 5, man. Hopefully, you don't eat your words back, Tapas. Just saying, man.
I've been saying it, man. Beginning of this playoffs, OKC is something else. They are number 1 for a reason. We'll be doing aerial yoga, one of us, at the end of this. I'll tell Priyanka to make sure that you signed up for this, and she'll take you.
Thank God it's recorded.
And I'll live stream it.
Thank God it's recorded, man.
All right, well, we will be back next week after Game 1. Until then, Brown Balls out.